My people, my people, my people. How are you guys doing? I'm Coach Sean. Here really quickly to ask you or to ask the people, why are the wide receivers so effective in this scheme? Why? Listen, I totally understand. A lot to do with the quarterback, a lot to do with the scheme itself, a lot to do with a lot of other variables. Offensive line, as we've covered. When you're talking about the nuts and bolts, the base, what is it about this scheme? Why are the wide receivers so effective in this scheme? Now, it's no secret Roma Dunze, Polk, um, McMillan, all these guys were outstanding. Um, their tight ends were outstanding. A lot of great pass principles and pass routes. But why are they so effective? Let's cover why, in my humble opinion, uh, really quickly. So shout out to Jamarcus Shepard, shout out to Coach KD. These guys are awesome at what they do. When I watch the all 22 film on these guys, man, listen, they have some of the best route combinations that I've seen, right? They have some of the best route combinations that I've seen any team run this side of Steve Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin when they were both at Alabama. Um, they use their wide receivers in dramatic fashion, if you will, breaking open to space, horizontal stretches, lots of post concepts, post corner concepts. Um, Great at manipulating those two safety high looks. A lot of screen passes, short throws, mesh concepts, um, vertical play action. So you have to be versatile to play in this game, man. You have to be versatile and you have to block. Don't get it wrong. Nothing has changed. You still have to be physical and be able to block in this game. Um, when I watch these wide receivers from their scheme, what made them um, effective also is they could identify man zone. They know when to run certain plays and when to cut routes off short. Very comfortable at beating man to man. Very comfortable with mesh concepts. Um, I cannot wait to see Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, Jeremy Bernard, Emmanuel Henderson, Jalen Hill, incoming Ryan Williams, incoming Scott, incoming the young man Amari Jefferson, Rico Scott as well. I can't wait to see these kids in this game, man. Um, Attacking the top of the route, understanding no lazy routes. Um, these guys as a group ran mesh out of a lot of condensed sets, bunch, double squeeze, if you will, as we call it. Um, even against zone, even against zone, these guys will attack space and do what we call squat. Um, but they made their living off posts. The post and post corner routes were exceptionally prevalent in this offense. And Michael Penix was effective at delivering that ball. Um, So when you think of a post route, what made the post route so special, Coach Sean? Well, let me explain really quickly why these wide receivers were so effective in this scheme with a simple post route. Um, a lot of their action and their major targets came to the inside guy, the slot guy, if you will. And I'll have some graphics coming very soon to show you on screen what I mean. Um, if these guys happen to run across a team checking them in single high safety, one safety high, um, the slot wide receiver is basically taking his vertical stem, 8 to 12 yards, maybe 10 to 12 yards, right? Reading the reaction of that safety, reading the reaction of that safety. As the wide receiver is making his break to the post, like, right? You push vertical stem as you're making your break to the post. If that safety closes distance, if that safety closes distance on the wide receiver on the post route, you attack the post corner. Go across his face, attack the post corner route. And the quarterback knows this. They're already on the same page. Um, I can't explain to you what anticipation does. Anticipation equals touchdowns, right? When the quarterback and the wide receivers on the same page with anticipation, it equals touchdowns. Those post routes can be violent, and the post corners can be even worse, right? Um, a lot of cornerbacks will be, especially when I watch the film on the way a lot of cornerbacks played these guys. A lot of the cornerbacks uh, was in off coverage, off man, if you will, playing outside shoulder leverage. So when you watch film on a defensive back and you see the young man playing outside leverage, you have to ask yourself why. Why is this young man playing outside leverage? A lot of times when that happens, the offense has been sort of successful in beating him in a lot of out routes, corner routes, comebacks, things of that nature. So he tries to compensate by scooting over a little bit to that outside shoulder, right? Um, and also in football jargon, what does it mean when he play outside leverage like that? What does it mean? It means he has help coming from the inside, coming from the middle. Um, Washington in their scheme was awesome at extenuating and really working DBs, right? I cannot wait to see our receivers when the offense is fully installed, have an opportunity to learn this and to show how well Jamarcus Shepard has coached these guys. Um, I was very impressed, man, on a simple post route. They ran posts all the time, right? These guys would push the DB, push vert, great stem. And remember, guys, the stem, that is important for spacing. The stem is important for spacing, man. You want to push that DB to make him widen, right? If you attack the defensive back and really work him, right? If you don't do that, defensive back won't respect you. He'll sit on your routes, he'll sit on your hips, right? So you really want to work him, man, on that post route. Let's just say they have a post corner called, depending on how the safety plays you. When they run that vertical route, as far as pushing vert and then two post, you can't be lazy with it. You can't be lazy with it, guys. You no choppy feet, right? When you hit that post, you got to hit it hard, right? And the great defensive backs like Devontae Smith, if it was a post corner, this guy would hit the post route and look back. He would hit those 3 steps to post, and look back at the quarterback. That sold it. That sold it. The defensive back would beeline trying to close the space. Guess what Devontae would do? Foot in the ground after 3 steps, he hit the corner. Pylon, right? You was beat. You was beat. Defensive back did not have a chance to flip his hips in time enough and to recover. Defensive back did not have time to recover. Ball in the air, you vertical, you accelerate. When you come from out of that post to the post corner, foot in the ground, accelerate to the corner. Defensive back late flipping his hips, he's caught, ball in the air, touchdown. Right? I cannot wait to see that with Ryan Williams. And one thing about Ryan, he attacks the top of the route. He attacks the top of the route. There is no lazy route. There is no rounding it off when it's supposed to be a cut. None of that. So I cannot wait to see our receivers on this roster in this offense. This is why these receivers were so successful. This is why this scheme works. We all know the offensive line has a part in that. We all know the quarterback has a part in that, right? But if you're looking for space and getting open, this is why these wide receivers were so effective in this scheme. Lots of great routes, lots of attacking the safety. I love it. Um, so again, when you're pushing vert on a stem, you hit the inside going post to the flag, to the post, to the flagpole, pretty much. If that receiver, if that defensive back closes space, 3 steps, boom, 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 plant your feet hard, attack the corner, post corner. Defensive back is caught, late flipping his hips, balls in the air, touchdown. Now, what happens if the defensive back doesn't bite, right? Because sometimes defensive backs are just in the right place at the right time. It's not even schematically nothing. They're just in the right place at the right time. They don't bite on it, whatever. They're playing it safe. They're scared of getting beat deep, whatever, right? Well, guess what happens then? When you push vert stem and you hit that post, defensive backs on your backside shoulder, go ahead and run the post. Post is wide open, especially if it's one safety high and that safety somewhere else. That safety somewhere else. Corners beat. At that point, he don't have no help in the middle. The safety's out of position. The post doesn't even have to be a corner at that point. Defensive back doesn't bite, post wide open. Anticipation equals touchdowns. I picture this with Kendrick Law. I picture this with Kobe Prentice. I picture this with Jeremy Bernard. Lots of mesh routes. These are the things that created advantages for the wide receivers. A competent pass game, man. A competent pass game with foundational play calling. This is why these receivers were so effective in this scheme, right? Post routes, post concepts, corner post concepts, meshes, short passes with the vertical play action game coming, right? I watched film where these safeties would be so deep, afraid of getting beat deep, right? And then they would run so much underneath stuff that they would slowly come on down, right? So I love this. I love this offensive scheme. I love the wide receiver route combinations that Coach DeBoer and Jamarcus Shepard produce. And I cannot wait to see our receivers take advantage of this scheme. Stay tuned. The truth will always be in the details, no matter how much it pleasures you or how much it hurts. Always remember that. Coach Sean, and I'm out.